Story that we've been following here on the Lemon Sour channel. Aircraft carrier Harry S. Truman back at sea after collision repairs. The USS Harry S. Truman arrived at Soda Bay in Greece last week for full damage assessment repairs after colliding with a cargo ship. And as you know, a week and a half ago, USS Harry S. Truman was in Port Said, Egypt, when it had a collision with a Bescastas, I'm sure I'm butchering it, don't care, cargo ship in port. The U.S. Navy aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman is back at sea conducting routine operations after a week or so in Greece for repairs. Truman collided with the ship Bescastas in the Mediterranean Sea off Egypt's Port Said earlier this month. As you can see, here's the initial damage photos that we got. This is the sponson. This is the first photo we received from the Navy, showing superficial damage to one of the sponsons. And upon further photographs being released, we saw this, what some of my readers, listeners have called an incinerator exhaust duct. If that's the case, then that certainly isn't vital to the ship's operation. And a couple of hatches were also torn off as well. And the reports state that the ship has been made weather tight again, and they're ready to go out and to fulfill their mission. And we'll get into another little part of this too. It's kind of routine for the Navy after something like this, but this is really a good, we'll call it a practice situation in a non-war event. An emergency repair at a forward operating base for what is essentially superficial damage took just a few days, and we're back out at sea on mission. So we could call this a live training exercise if you want to. Led by Forward Deployed Regional Maintenance Center, Truman completed the 5-day ERAV at Naval Support Activity Soda Bay, Greece, according to a Navy press release. In an all-hands effort, sailors worked with FDRMC personnel, Norfolk Navy Shipyard, and local industry partner Theodoropoulos, I'm sure I butchered that, sorry my Greek friends, group to assess damage, develop a repair plan, and report and restore weather-tight integrity to the ship following the collision on February 12th. We keep going through those pictures, and this is standard. This is standard. Captain Dave Snowden was relieved of command. And in his place, we have commanding officer will be Captain Hill. Let me click this. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted. I got a kitty back here meowing at me. The U.S. Navy has relieved Captain Dave Snowden, the commanding officer of USS Harry S. Truman, for loss of confidence following the February 12th collision of the aircraft carrier with the Panamanian-flagged cargo ship near the Egyptian port of Port Said in eastern Mediterranean. The commander of the USS Dwight Eisenhower, Captain Christopher Chowda Hill, will temporarily command the Truman. Captain Hill has a lot of experience. He was involved with hostilities involving the Houthis in the Red Sea. So we aren't turning this over to some new guy. We're turning over the Truman to a highly experienced flag officer with combat experience. That makes me feel good. It is standard procedure for something like this for the commander of the vessel to be relieved of command following an investigation. Fired is a term I'm not sure I would use, because fired to the civilian world implies that he's no longer a captain in the Navy. And even being a civilian, I do know that he is still a captain in the Navy for right now. Following that investigation, he might be a lieutenant commander in the Navy. Who knows? And then discharged. You never know. We'll see what things turn out. But the Truman, she's back at sea with a new commanding officer. This is an interview that the War Zone did with Captain Hill. This was following his tour on the Eisenhower, where, again, he had extensive combat experience with the Houthis in the Red Sea, keeping our shipping lanes open. And that link is in this story, which, of course, will be linked above. And this is from Captain Hill. Since deploying Carrier Air Wing 1 has flown over 5,500 sorties, including 2 self-defense strikes into Houthi-controlled Yemeni territory, and a large force strike against ISIS Somalia targets in northeast Somalia in coordination with U.S. Africa Command, according to today's Navy release. The Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group continues to provide maritime security and regional stability in support of its component commanders. And this is the Navy's statement right here. Just a moment. A U.S. 6th Fleet spokesman has now provided the War Zone with the following additional statement about Truman's status. The assessment confirmed the ship is structurally sound with no additional repairs required for full mission capability. The repair plan focused on returning Truman on mission as quickly as possible, prioritizing work needed to restore weather tightness to affected areas. The ship will enter into a regular planned maintenance period later this year where future work will occur. At this time, a total estimated cost of damage, repairs, and timeline for future repairs is unavailable. And they didn't make available what repairs they did in Greece, or the cost. It is impressive that Truman is back at sea. It was superficial damage, yes, but it was damage nonetheless. And to pull into a port, have that damage repaired, and out in a week, back on mission. Out in the Mediterranean right now, launching aircraft, recovering aircraft, doing that thing that Navy ships do. She's back at it. I'd say it's pretty impressive. I'd say it's pretty impressive to have damage done, go into port, have that damage as superficial as it probably was, we don't know that for sure, and have it back out within just a matter of days. Back on mission, fully capable. I think it's a positive sign. Now the Captain Snowden, eventually we'll find out exactly what happened in the report. The Navy will find out. We know the Navy's never wrong. Sometimes they're just a little farther from being right. In this case, we'll find out. But I just wanted to bring you that update. Harry S. Truman, she's back on station. Repairs done, and anything else that's needed will be done in her workup when she gets home. But for now, ship and crew is good, doing their duty. God bless the U.S. Navy. That's all I got for now. I really do appreciate you swinging in here and listening. And if you liked it, hit that like. Hit the subscribe. Maybe even share it with a friend. I would appreciate it. And I thank you.